Welcome back to the channel. This is going to be a quick start guide on how to go from weak to strong. What you'll take away from this video is you're going to understand and discover some limiting beliefs you may not have known that you have currently. What you're also going to learn is some of the limiting beliefs that I had that kept me stuck for years and kept me spinning my wheels. Ultimately, what you're going to learn and take away from this video, which is going to be so valuable for you, is you're going to learn how to break them. These are going to be actionable steps that you can actually implement into your life right here, right now, 5 minutes after this video. This is not just theory. These are methods that I currently use. So the contents of this video is going to, first thing, I'm going to tell you a story. Then we're going to go into an analogy for that story. And then we're going to go into the method and then the end of the video, just so you know what you're getting into. In the beginning of my journey, I was a weak man. We'll just put it to you straight like that. I was a weak man. When I would look in the mirror, I would have these negative thoughts about myself just based on the way that I looked and felt. Knowing that I had this problem, I could only imagine what other people were thinking about me when they saw me or when they looked at me. I know a lot of people say, oh, don't care what people think about you, or it doesn't matter what people think about you. The truth and the reality of it is we're human beings and we want that sense of community. So, or we have these thoughts that trigger in us that make us feel worthy, and some make us feel unworthy. And truthfully, when I was in this phase, it was like the darkest time of my life. I had pot belly, I had man boobs. As you can see, the man boobs here, pot belly here again. My back was just not in shape. I just had a fat back. The main false belief that I was believing was that, for a long time I believed, or I thought, that some people were just built strong, or some people were just born this way. Either you had it and you were born with it, or you didn't and you couldn't go and obtain that. So that was my thought process around this time. I was very weak. Men will never say this out loud, but we hate being weak. We hate weakness, not only in seeing weakness in other people, but most of all seeing weakness in ourselves, because at the end of the day, we have to look in the mirror and be okay with ourselves, or accept ourselves, or settle for ourselves. And you never want to settle. When it comes to this, right, these were all the things I was losing in myself. My confidence was just going lower and lower. Everything was just on the down and down instead of on the up and up. At my time, looking like that and feeling that way, I didn't understand, and I didn't know that my losses were lessons in disguise. And I know a lot of people say that, but genuinely in my case, it happened to be true. But the funny part is, I was going to the gym and I was still, exercising, and I thought I was eating right, but there was something that was eating away at me that I didn't understand at the time. I was carrying burdens, people pleasing all the time. I was really the number one nice guy, meaning I wanted everybody to like me. I did everything for everybody else except myself. I put everybody in front of me when I should have been putting myself first. I was losing myself in others. It got so bad I was ruining relationships because I was feeling resentful, and then I would flash out at random times and people would be like, whoa, like, I've never know you felt this way. It's because I kept all of that inside. I held all of that pressure, all of that resentment inside, and I didn't share it with people. I wasn't being real. Basically, I was being a fake person. Everything was just going downhill. I was literally becoming a loser. And the funny part is, when I was in high school, I was the man. I was like peak life in high school. When adulthood hit, reality hit, and everything started slowly going down. I was drinking. I wasn't really smoking or anything like that, but I was drinking a lot, partying all the time. I thought that's what being an adult was. I felt like I had less responsibility as an adult. Ultimately, I just became a broken man. But the bottom line out of all of this, and the point that I really want to bring home, is because of my confidence, because of me being a loser, because of me being a broken man, I wasn't getting what I wanted out of life, and it felt like I was giving everything away. And that's a terrible feeling. And that was all my fault. All of that was my fault. Most guys fuck up because they're being too nice. And I learned a lot from this book right here. It's called No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover. And if you want some more actionable advice on getting what you want out of life, you should definitely read this book. This is going to be your homework if you're willing to take on that homework and that responsibility. Listen to it if you have to, but this book has some really good gems in it on you taking back your control and your power. But let's go on. And this is an original quote. Like this is a quote that I came up with, but it's a quote that after, some meditation, after some real like inner work, this is a quote that I came up with that shifted everything for me. It changed my entire perspective on strength and weakness. And the quote is this: you're only weak in the moments you don't attempt, and you're only strong in the moments you go for it. To me, that means that I get to put the power back into my hands. And some of the key words here that kind of come to my mind, I wrote them here on the left side, are, bravery, choice, decision, freedom. Let's talk about choice for a second. A lot of people think that they're out of power and they don't have control over anything. They think life just happens to them. And this is where I beg to differ, and I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Is I think you have the most control in your life because you have choice, right? Like God gave us free will. Basically, God gave us the ability to choose. And here's an analogy that explains this like perfectly. It's like the card game of life. Think of the power of choice like playing a card game. You don't always get to choose the hand you're dealt, right? We've heard that all the time. Like you don't get to choose the hand you're dealt when you're born. But you cannot control where you were born, the family you have, or sudden surprises. However, you have complete control over how you play your cards. Basically you have complete control over how you play to your strengths, how you cover up your weaknesses. But it first comes with realizing what are your strengths and your weaknesses, and that's a whole nother video, right? You can choose your attitude, you can choose your effort, and you can choose how you respond to any situation. Those are the things you have control over: attitude, effort, and how you respond. So those were some realizations that I had. And this card game of life analogy really breaks that down and explains that you have the power of decision and choice. You have more freedom than you think. The key here is to control the decision and choice to be strong, or you can choose to be weak in the moments. And the moments are everything. The biggest golden nugget here and the biggest takeaway I want you to have from this is this analogy of the slider analogy. So you can think about being weak or strong as in moments, as in every moment that happens, there's a gauge that appears, or a slider that appears in your mind, and it's a gauge that you control. So you can slide that gauge to being, weak in this moment, or you can slide it to being stronger in this moment. It's more of a being weak and strong is more of a spectrum within moments. So you have to ask yourself, where do you set your gauge? Do you set it on the weak side, or do you set it on the strong side? What's always in your control again is your attitude, your effort, and your aggression. Always remember that these are not permanent settings. Like you're not weak, you're not strong. In that moment, you have to choose the setting that you put. You can always adjust. Treat weakness and strength as a gauge, and you'll be better off moving forward. You'll have more control. This is also about you living in the moment and you recognizing those moments. If you've ever seen Waterboy, this is a great movie. But there's a scene in here where the head coach is talking to the star of the movie. He's a little bit of a slow guy, but he has a confidence issue. He's not sure how to ultimately like play football and be confident playing football, but the coach gives him a tactic. And this is going to go into the tactic that we're going to use, but he gives them a tactic of visualize and attack. Now, when you visualize, you want to focus on your goal. You want to, close your eyes, picture what you want to accomplish, picture what it looks like, how you feel when you accomplish that, how it's going to feel if you don't accomplish that, right? Because you want to play the other side of the coin, and you want to fully commit to that action, which is the attack portion of this quote. So you want to visualize and attack, visualize and attack. Now, what are these moments? How can you recognize these moments? Because that's probably a big question you're asking. You're like, what are these moments this guy's talking about? And these moments usually come up as questions you ask yourself. And you want to treat these moments like bells or whistles, like alerts in your brain. So you catch these moments when you catch those times when you're negotiating with yourself. You catch the moments when you start asking yourself questions like, am I going to the gym today? Am I going to go hard at the gym today? Right? Or, in a relationship stance, am I going to finally tell this girl how I feel? Am I going to go up and talk to this girl? Am I going to be strong in that conversation, or am I going to be weak and not even attempt? Right? Because you can only be strong when you attempt, and you can only be weak when you don't attempt. You don't even try. Okay. So you're not a strong or a weak person, but in that moment, you become strong or weak, right? Or we can even take it to sports. Is, can I actually win this match? It's those questions, those negotiations that you're having in your brain in those moments. So catch those moments, because the second you hear yourself going, should I, and that question's about to pop up, that's it. That's the whistle to either go, or that's the whistle to even to end the game. You're already standing in the moment. You have to recognize that moment. Most people hear that question and think it's just a question, or it doesn't mean anything. It's either a moment you pass up on, or when that starting gun shoots or fires, you go, right? You have to have that that attitude of go, go, go. Okay? It's these questions. It's all of these questions here. Let me circle them. And am I going today? Am I going to the gym? Am I going to eat healthy today? Hitting that snooze alarm. No. Should I text her? Yes. Be strong. Should I start Monday or should I start today? Start today. That's stronger. Right? Does this even matter? Of course it matters. Everything matters. There isn't anything that matters. Some things matter more than others, but there isn't anything that doesn't matter, right? These negotiations with yourselves are the notification that you need to recognize to either be strong or be weak. Recognize those. Now, here's the method clearly explained, and it's going to be a really simple method, right? It's a three part method that you have to be in the moment to catch this. You have to catch the question, you have to visualize what you want to achieve, and then you either attack or you don't. So this is optional right here. The attack is always optional. This is going to be the action. When we talk about catching the question, you have to recognize that moment. And you're always going to feel the fear or the least confidence in this stage. You're always going to feel the least confident. And as you go further down these stages, this is when you start to get more and more confident, because when you visualize, you nobody wants to visualize like the bad thing that's going to happen. So you have to visualize you winning. You have to visualize you going for it and it turning out exactly how you want it to turn out. You mentally walk through all of this, you break it down step by step, you see it first, and you make it clear. You make it clear for your subconscious, so that when you go to attack, you're full of confidence. Your confidence is all the way through the roof. You give it that way, you can give it your full effort. You go all the way and you give it a good go. Now, this doesn't guarantee you actually get what you visualize, but it damn sure gives you a better chance. It gives you a better chance. Like, the odds are in your favor because you know exactly what you want to achieve and you visualize it. So this is the method. You catch that thought by being in the moment. You visualize what you want to achieve in that moment. And this is something that happens so fast. You visualize what you want to achieve in that moment, and then you either go for it or you don't. That's the magic here. This is what I want you guys to try, is catch yourselves in these moments, visualize what you want to achieve, and go for it. Or don't. But make sure you fucking try something. Right? These strength and weakness are decisions that you make. Am I going to get up at my alarm? No. Yes. Strong. Am I going to have a good breakfast, or am I going to have a donut and some fucking juice, some bullshit, a sugar bomb? Decide. Right? Am I going to go to the gym and hit it hard today? Yes. On the sets at the gym, am I going to fucking do this shit to the fucking max? Am I going to get full stimulus? Yes or no? Right? Am I going to send that text? Or am I going to scroll at 10 p.m. when I should be sleeping and recovering and resting? Being strong is a decision. Being strong is 100% the decision, and now I have an offer for you. If this training resonates with you, if you want to go from weak to strong, here's what you're going to do next. You're going to fill out the questionnaire in the description of this video. It's going to be a type form like this. You'll click on the link. It'll come up just like this, and it'll be super easy. It only takes 2 minutes for you to complete this questionnaire. I'll find out a whole lot more about you, and we'll understand each other a bit better. What I do and what I help with is I work together with men who are just like me, successful in every area of their lives except self-worth and fitness. And I help them make that transition into their strength. Now, if that sounds like you, then you found your person, you found your people, and we'll see if you're a good fit for the program.